Welcome back. There's an update on Billy Joel's health this morning, just over 2 weeks after the star's scary on-stage fall, which led to surgery.
Yeah, let's get some more. Here's our entertainment editor, Peter Ford. Hi, Pete. What's the latest here?
Yeah, that update is a little concerning, although it does seem that down the track everything's going to be okay again. Of course, a couple of weeks ago we saw that fall on stage, and that really came on the back of a number of cancelled dates. So it just was a picture of something not going right. And when you did see him slip on stage, well, you kind of think, oh, well, maybe that's the sort of thing that can happen to anyone, unfortunately, and people will show it right around the world. But the cancelled dates as well have made people concerned. So what has happened overnight, our time, they have released a statement to say all of his gigs for the next 4 months are cancelled. That one there, Edinburgh, that was going to be his first time performing back in Edinburgh in 47 years. He hadn't been there. But as you see, it's rescheduled to June of next year, so they must be very hopeful that things are going to be okay again. Now, as to what is wrong, we don't know. We're not entitled to know. I guess curiosity makes us eager to know. What they have said is the surgery is recent. So he's already had that surgery, and it's now a case of having to undergo physical therapy. And that word physical is obviously a key word as to what is going on. It may be, as we saw with Jimmy Barnes and his heart issues, a case of having to rebuild that stamina, because it's one thing to get well enough to be able to walk down the street and buy some groceries. It's another thing to go on stage and do a 2.5-hour marathon show, which Billy does. And these days, he doesn't do long tours. He only does these sort of one-off shows in different parts of the world, as he did here in Melbourne a few years ago. So anyway, fingers crossed that he's going to be okay down the track, and we certainly wish him all the best.
Yeah, we do. Moving on, Pete, John Farnham's wife Jill has celebrated a milestone with the family.
Yes, her 70th birthday, and son Rob has put up some great vision. Looks like Florentino's very legendary restaurant in Melbourne, and that's where it seems the party was held. As you can see in this vision here, shot by Rob, there's various guests, a lovely long table, John and Jill at the centrepiece of the table, and it's a great love story. They met all those years ago on a show called Charlie Girl, which was a musical that John was starring in. Jill was in the chorus. She's a very private lady, and in fact, there she is there with John's book last year. She wrote a couple of chapters for that and also did the audio version of it as well. And that was a huge thing, but fascinating to see from her perspective, to be John's rock through good times. And, what's he there for?
What's he doing there?
He was stalking me in Los Angeles last week. Honestly, he is, he's vile. Anyway, that's Hans we're talking about.
Not John.
Horrible. Anyway, but isn't that lovely? You know, we've all been so concerned about John, so to be able to see some of these happy moments for the family now, to be getting out and enjoying themselves. And
is that a photo from the night, Pete?
That's a photo from the night.
Lovely.
Yeah, with Rob and James and their other halves. They're all together. Beautiful photo. So very happy birthday to Jill.
Yeah, sending the whole fam lots of love. Now, Rosie O'Donnell is making headlines this morning. What's happened?
Yeah, she's moved to Ireland.
What?
So, and this is obviously because of Donald Trump. People may not know the full history of her and Donald Trump, but it goes way back, long before he ever was running to be president first time around. They've had very public spats, said vile things about each other. It's been two-way traffic. But anyway, she's now moved to Ireland, and you've got to give her credit. A lot of people have talked about doing this. She's actually gone and done it. Here's a little of her explaining what it's about.
And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back. It's been heartbreaking to see what's happening politically, and hard for me personally as well. The personal is political, as we all know.
Yeah, so very much putting your passport where your mouth is. Dozens of others have done it, have announced it with great fanfare and not followed through, but she has.
Yeah, just lastly, Gene Simmons is taking job applications. Can you give us a bit of detail on what this is for?
Yeah. Well, he's out on the road now with his Gene Simmons band. Obviously, Kiss are no longer with us, but you can actually be his PA, his personal assistant for the day. It's going to cost you around about $19,000 Australian, but for that you get to spend the entire day with him. You go through the band rehearsals, bumping into each new gig they're playing. You get to have a private meal with Gene. He will bring you out on stage during the show as well. And the best part about it, it's a 2-for-1. You can bring somebody with you. So in effect, if you had two people who are both crazy Gene Simmons fans, then you could be there for, I guess that'll work out to about $9,500 each. It's a lot of money, of course it is, but for the crazy diehard fans, you know, it's a great opportunity. So you can imagine, though, I've got to tell you, you will be, that doesn't say this in the notification, but you can be guaranteed you will be signing an NDA before your day at work begins.
Yeah, I make all my personal assistants sign an NDA. It's important. Thank you, Pete. We'll talk to you soon.